gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shout Around? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
And good morning, and thank you for staying with us on this Sunday morning. It is 7:30. I'm Steve Alexander. We continue to follow some breaking news, a major story in Baldwin County. Officials report now still 3 people are dead, at least 12 others hurt, following a shooting at a May Day party in Stockton.
Wow, so there you have it. In the community, a mass gathering in Baldwin County, Alabama, it appears. And this is the result. A mass shooting, 3 dead, 12 injured. I've repeatedly warned you guys, speaking about black people in the community, about these mass gatherings, these large gatherings. We need to refrain from large gatherings until we figure out this crime issue. I'm going to continue to say this. I do believe it in my heart to be the right thing to do, because if we continue to get into these, massive parties, drinking alcohol, doing drugs, having guns, trying to flash, trying to also indulge in that crash out hip hop culture, gang culture lifestyle, that mixture is going to be the death of us. And as you can see, it has already caused the death of so many, in particular these 3 individuals who were killed in this shooting. And unfortunately, we have another instance of black men taking over, becoming the face of mass shootings in America. Now, obviously, it's underreported, but these are what the data are telling us, right? It's an issue that if we fix, I believe it'll ring ripples throughout the whole country, right? I generally believe that.
Fox 10's Hal Shurk is live with the latest that we know in the shooting. Hal, what can you tell us?
Well, Steve, I'm here at North Baldwin Infirmary. This is where many of those victims that you just talked about were brought overnight. This happened, all began before midnight, but things played out long into the early morning hours this morning on Mother's Day. Now, we are told by the Baldwin County Major Crimes Unit that even after the folks that were shooting victims were brought to the hospital here, there were tempers flared. Folks showed up, quite a few actually, reports of 100 or more even came to the hospital. There were some altercations here after the fact. Now what?
Dang, so they even pulled up to the hospital causing a ruckus. I mean, this is not good. I mean, the representation that we have in the community is horrible. We can't even get together and do the old cookout thing. People talk, oh, you ain't invited to the cookout no more. Well, good. I mean, at this point, how is that a negative thing? These super gremlins are on demon time.
What we are told is that at least 2 people were believed to have fired weapons at this May Day party, which was off Upper Bryant's Road in the Stockton community. We're told there could have been up to 1,000 people attending at the time that all of this happened. It started with some sort of altercation, ended in gunfire, chaotic scene there, as witnessed through some Facebook video posts that people have put up. I have seen some of those, and I can tell you that from the looks of what I saw there, just chaotic. Folks running in different directions, yelling. What appeared to be several shooting victims laying on the ground at this party. It was at a residence of some sort. We don't have any identification of the victims right now, and as far as suspects go, the Baldwin County Major Crimes Unit says that they have one main suspect that they believe they know who it is, but have not been able to locate, or at least had not picked that suspect up as of early this morning. I've reached.
So this would be a great time for a description and maybe a name or something, but I know they don't want to infringe on the investigation and whatnot, but people need to be aware of any individual in the community who just shot up a whole party and killed 3 people and injured 12. These guys are just shooting recklessly into the crowd. I can tell you that. They're not aiming. They're not shooting for any particular person. In many cases, they're just upset, angry, and aimlessly letting off rounds into the crowd. And it's reckless, it's careless, and this is the state of the community, y'all.
Reached out to see if that's changed, if anybody's in custody. I have not heard back yet. They say there could be another shooter involved as well. Now, 15 people in total injured, hurt. Not clear if all 15 were hit by gunfire or if some of those injuries were sustained in other ways as a result of this mass shooting that occurred last night. There's still a lot of questions, a lot of people being interviewed by representatives of the Baldwin County Major Crimes Unit. That unit was activated last night because of just the scope of this pending investigation. This investigation is actually underway. So many folks to interview, so many victims, and deputies are asking that anybody that was there, that saw anything that can help in this, that has not already been interviewed by a law enforcement officer, please reach out to the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office. They need to talk to you. They're trying to see and try to figure out exactly what happened. But as it stands right now, it's a very empty parking lot this morning, not so last night. Things are very quiet. We caught up with the commander of the Baldwin County Major Crimes Unit early this morning as they were still looking for that suspect, and this is what he had to say.
This isn't a case that we can, put in the box and have it all ready in just a couple of minutes. It's going to take a little while.
Yes, and they're asking for any help once again from anybody who may have seen anything last night. If you haven't already met with a investigator, please reach out. They'd like to hear from you. They're trying to piece all this together. Victims were taken to multiple hospitals around the area. We're told not only here at North Baldwin, but with so many victims, there are hospitals, other area hospitals, including Mobile County, where some were taken. Once again, this all occurred at what was described as a May Day party attended by up to 1,000 people at a residence.
1,000 people at one residence is just entirely too much. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just, hey, I've already suggested refraining from large gatherings, and we see the results of these large gatherings, and then there's really not much else that I can do but put these videos out.
Up on Upper Bryant Landing Road, that's north of Stockton, last night, and all this broke out sometime before midnight, and very active scenes both there and then later here at North Baldwin Hospital, where many of those victims came initially. A lot of folks came from that party over here. There were tempers, altercations that happened here. Everything has since quieted down, but this investigation has a long way to go. That's what we know right now. Of course, stay tuned right here on Fox 10 News and online, fox10tv.com, and our social media pages for any updates. We'll bring them to you as soon as we know. Live in Bay Minette, Hal Sherrick, Fox 10 News.
Kids lost out here, kids out in the woods last night, people running for their life.
Well, now an eyewitness describes the terrifying moments the bullets started flying and people started shooting back. Fox 10 News' Lee Peck has that part of the story.
Good times at the annual May Day celebration in Stockton. This video shot less than 2 hours.
For the record, this doesn't look like a good time.
Before chaos unfolded, crowds of people caught in the middle of gunfire. 18 people shot, 3 of them died. When we returned to the scene, crime scene tape still visible as cleanup was underway.
That's where I grew up at. Yeah, this is where I grew up at, right here on Magnolia Bluff Road.
Douglas Bolden now lives in Birmingham, but returns for the event every year. He recalls hearing the shots hitting a truck near where we're standing.
And the window shattered. So when the window shattered, I looked around. That's when I saw everybody running. And I said, somebody's shooting. And then I don't know what kind of gun he had, but it sounded like an automatic. It sounded like an automatic, because it just blah, blah. And then you heard.
Well, that kind of sounds like a semi-automatic, a 3-round burst. So that could be a series of different firearms, which that is legal. So, you know, obviously it's not legal to shoot into a crowd or to, you know, for a felon to be in possession of such firearm, but a 3-round burst is illegal. It's a semi-automatic weapon, and you know, it sounds like that's what he's describing, because he's saying brah, brah. If it was automatic, it'd say brrrr. Okay, so
there was somebody shooting back, and so everybody was running, and I ended up under the camper. I got up under my camper because I didn't know what was going on.
Bolden says moments later, more shots were fired from the other direction.
A lot of shots. It was a lot of shots. There were no multiple shots. It was a lot of shots. Then they had a shooting. Somebody started shooting over here.
Bolden says the off-duty officers providing security did everything they could as people ran to take cover.
Yeah, kids lost out here, kids out in the woods last night, people running for their life.
Bolden and others believe it's the result of an ongoing issue that was brought to the event. At least 2 witnesses say the shooter was a person in a wheelchair.
It's going.
Yeah, they said, no way. The shooter was a person in a wheelchair is crazy. You got ninjas in a wheelchair crashing out. And here's the thing. This is why you can't go to these large gatherings, because it only takes a few different clicks, a couple different clicks, maybe even 2 people to get into a ninja moment, and the whole place is getting shot up. There's no talking it out. There's no rationalization. There's no, you know, problem solving, deductive reasoning, you know, any alternative to the worst possible outcome is not happening.
Going around. So I hope y'all find a wheelchair and do whatever you got to do. And they say people talking. Go on and tell the truth, man. Just tell the truth.
As victims were rushed to.
So he's telling the community to tell the truth. Meanwhile, you have the no snitch street code in full effect. This is why it's hard to get answers and solve a lot of these murders, because people just simply are not talking. These super gremlins are on demon time.
North Baldwin Infirmary. They were also calling for air support.
Find out how many more victims we got, so I can determine if I need to do hot turnarounds on these helicopters.
Meanwhile, the deadly tragedy at Mayday has several families mourning this Mother's Day over senseless gun violence.
Anybody, it could have been me. You know, when you got somebody just shooting for no reason, because there's no reason to be shooting. It's not that bad. Whatever they had, it wasn't that bad for you to come up here around all these folks and start shooting. It didn't make sense. Didn't make sense at all.
In Stockton, Lee Peck, Fox 10 News.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
3 people are dead and at least another 15 are injured following a shooting in South Alabama this weekend. It happened just last night in the Baldwin County community of Stockton, about 30 miles northeast of Mobile. Officials say a May Day party with about 1,000 people was in progress when an altercation escalated into gunfire. Most of the victims are, quote, younger people. Local media reports police have one suspect identified and believe that there is at least one other shooter. No arrests have been made at this time.
A few hours ago, we learned a total of 18 people were shot at that May Day event in Stockton. 3 other victims died. At this hour, deputies are still trying to track down the person who fired multiple rounds into the large crowd during an argument. Well, new tonight, 2 eyewitnesses believe that person was in a wheelchair. Investigators do believe multiple people fired shots, possibly in self-defense.
Yo, this is wild. A wheelchair shooter. These super handicapped gremlins are on demon time.
Deputies are pleading with people who were at the party to come forward with information. We're told 1,000 people were at the event, and we have team coverage for you tonight. Our Ashlyn Mitchell leads us off from Baldwin County Sheriff's Office Investigation Center in Robertsdale. Ashlyn, deputies really need the public's help in on this one.
Yeah, they do, Ariel. I'm told the victims range from 13 to 60 years old. As you know, today is Mother's Day, so there are several hurting families. Now, Captain Andre Reed with the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office right now is asking anyone with any information to come forward.
8802, be advised, there's multiple helos en route to this due to a NCI with multiple GSWs.
Tonight, the small town of Stockton is rocked by unexpected heartache.
It's a tragedy. You know, this is not something that I've personally experienced here, really my entire career. And we're working just as hard as we can to get this taken care of.
Investigators are on an urgent hunt for the person who opened fire into a large crowd at a May Day event. Investigators say 18 people were shot and 3 people died. It's a tragedy that enlisted the help of agencies all across Baldwin County. Multiple ambulances and helicopters rushing the victims, ranging from 13 to 60 years old to nearby hospitals.
They're at different hospitals, some in Florida, some over Mobile, and so it just took us a little bit to make sure that we had everyone accounted for. Survivors, most all of them are going to recover just fine. I think a few needed surgery. Several had superficial wounds.
Captain Reed says investigators believe they know who the suspect is, but they're urging people who were at the May Day event to be transparent.
And it seems unlikely that with 1,000 people that no one saw anything. It seems unlikely that people that were actually shot, didn't actually see the person who did it. I guess it's possible, but it just doesn't seem to match up. And so,
So you hear that. Nobody's coming forward, nobody's giving any information, and there were thousands of people there. So now do you see the problem?
Fortunately, we tend to have this culture where people don't want to cooperate with law enforcement until it's your family, and then you want help.
Now, when I asked Captain Reed if there could be more victims, he says he's unsure, but there's always the possibility that a victim didn't take themselves to the hospital or that they were involved in the shooting and they don't want to come forward. But again, if you know anything, call the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office. Reporting live in Robertsdale tonight, Ashlyn Mitchell, Fox 10 News.
Well, now we're hearing from a family member of one of the victims killed. This is 37-year-old Shakita Ewing. I just got off the phone with her cousin who tells me the two of them were at the May Day event together in the middle of all the chaos. She says she started hearing multiple gunshots, and when she looked around, she saw her cousin lying on the ground. Multiple people surrounded her trying to help her. She says her cousin Shakita was a mother to 2 boys and 2 girls, and that her family is heartbroken.
I'm trying to hold it together because I just want her to know that I was there by her side from the time I knew it was her laying there. I held her hand until they told me that I had to move from beside her. I wish this didn't happen to her and the other victims. I didn't know them as like I knew her, but they didn't deserve this neither. And I hope everybody gets justice about what happened yesterday out there.
And I also just got off the phone with the family of the other victim killed, Christian Bradley, who says this was a senseless shooting and that Bradley lost his life during what should have been a celebration. We have just confirmed the name of 2 of the victims who were killed. Here are pictures of Shakita Ewing and Christian Bradley. Ewing was 34 years old and a mother of 4. Bradley was 24 years old. Both families are in deep mourning tonight. Our prayers are certainly with them.
All right, guys, so there you have it. Here are all 3 people who were killed on this May Day, Mother's Day. celebration. And, you know, it just goes to show that we're really bleeding out here. And a lot of innocent people are being caught in the crossfire. And the fact that you have a man who's in a wheelchair to have been seen shooting into the crowd, very disturbing. You would think a handicapped individual is one of the low risk people going to this event, but unfortunately in the community, the truth is stranger than fiction. These super handicapped gremlins are on demon time.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.